Well, I went to school at Harvard and I was supposed to become a doctor. My family is very science oriented and, like a good Asian American kid, I was supposed to become a doctor. I play the piano and all of that. But I guess I knew quite soon that I didn't want to. And I moved to New York to go to Columbia Med School and kept deferring and just knew I wasn't going to go, and started performing. I started dancing on Broadway and kind of wanted something more, and I realized I didn't really want to perform as much, and directing was sort of more where I wanted to be. Becoming a writer, I guess that it's, all filmmakers are storytellers, and I guess I just realized that I had stories to tell, and they all come from my life. I mean, I think all I ever really write is myself. Again and again and again, they just happen to be in with different faces, different voices. But I think you have to live life in order to tell stories about life. So I've kind of lived a diverse life, and hopefully that makes me a better storyteller.
Breaking news. We are getting reports of a shooting at a college this morning.
Oh my God.
At least 3 faculty members are among the 17 known dead.
It was difficult when Virginia Tech happened. My sister called me up right away and she said, can you believe it? Because, my parents went to Virginia Tech, they met there, they got married there. My sister was born while they were there. And when the shooter was Asian, and that's such an oddity alone, and for it to be sort of so close to my family in some way. It really shook my family in a bizarre way. We knew we wanted to cast an ethnicity, and ideally an Asian family, mostly just slightly tip our hat towards the Virginia Tech, but also because, I feel as a minority, it's sort of my job to give exposure to minorities, and because they are a part of our life, and my nieces are Hapa, and they grew up in the Bay Area, and so many of their classmates are mixed of biracial or multiracial, and that's reality, and definitely wanted to give some visualization of that. I think we naturally need to find the reason, like this is the reason why it happened. And I remember, and sort of like living in LA where there's such a large Korean community, I have a lot of Korean friends and they're like, oh, why did he have to be Korean? Because there is already some racial tension here, and they were really afraid of backlash. And someone told me about someone who came up and spit in their face. And nothing against that person. I just feel like we all crave that. What is the reason? That sort of black and white, I can point to it on a page, that this is why he did it. And ultimately in our exploration of the story, I don't think there is some sort of cut and dry answer. Like it's much more, people are much more complicated than that. It's not like the reason I became this is because of that moment, So even though that's what we crave, I think, as people. So all of these things did sort of inform our story, the complication of fear, and these parents are afraid they're going to be blamed, and also they can't help but blame themselves either. Like, you could blame the Asian culture because we tend to be more emotionally reserved and all that stuff, but not all Asian people are picking up guns and running out and shooting people. So there are a lot of factors to why a person winds up being that. And I don't think it's any one thing. We were having a hard time finding the title, actually. We were in the story and, bouncing around a lot of ideas. And so it was in the back of our mind, like, find a good title. And we were looking for a song for Maria to sing in the lullaby when she's singing to her nephew, and also thinking about some ideas, like, was it a James Taylor song? And Mike came up with the idea, my writing partner, of well, what do you think about this John Lennon song? And we couldn't afford a Beatles song, but that the words, it's sort of like, oh my God, that would be a really great title. Because ultimately it's about this boy and them sort of holding these ideas of him as sort of this beautiful child, and he's turned into this thing, and trying to hold on to those memories of him.